Hey besties! So in this video we're gonna explore a brief overview of the French Revolution, its main causes, and how Marie Antoinette impacted the entire thing. One of the biggest causes of the French Revolution was the dissatisfaction among the peasants. 18th century French society was separated into a caste system called the estates. There were three different estates: the first, second, and third estate. The first estate was comprised of the clergy, the priests, and others who ran both the Catholic Church and some aspects of the country. They kept societal data such as registers of birth, death, and marriages. The clergy had the power to levy a 10% tax known as the tithe. The second estate consisted of the nobility of France. Members of the second estate did not have to pay any taxes. Just like the clergy, they also collected taxes from the third estate. The third estate was made up of the majority, from peasant farmers to the bourgeoisie, aka the wealthy business class. While the second estate was only 1% of the total population of France, the third estate was 96% of the population of France and had none of the rights and privileges of the other two estates, but paid the most in taxes. The members of the third estate wanted a more equal distribution of wealth and power. The social and economic inequality due to the estate system created unrest among the masses, which were one of the main causes of the revolution. The inability to gain wealth was not the only problem for the third estate. 2 decades of poor harvests, cattle disease, and extreme drought, coupled with the rising cost of bread, results in starvation and angry citizens. In France, the monarch ruled on the basis of divine right of kings. Divine right meaning that God proclaimed that that particular individual and their descendants were meant to rule. Therefore, no mortal being could question their ruling or their right to be the ruler. However, the philosophies of the Enlightenment, an age of questioning, and particularly about societal norms of the time, made the public think differently. The economic crisis in France angered the masses, who became very critical of their king and is one of the primary reasons behind the revolution. The nobility's lifestyle was viewed as extravagantly wasteful. Some of the French court mistrusted and disliked Marie Antoinette from the very moment that she married King Louis XVI. She wasn't French, she was actually an Austrian archduchess, and the marriage was to form an alliance and create peace between France and Austria, and to form against their enemies Prussia and Great Britain. She got married at around 14 years old to Louis XVI and spent lavishly on very extravagant dresses in an attempt to keep up with the French court's standard of fashion. It was also said that she was a very good harpsichord player and she liked to sing. The peasants initially adored her, but as time went on and conditions worsened, they too despised her. The ineffective leadership of Louis XV, Louis XVI, and Marie Antoinette are another big cause of the French Revolution. The lack of money was not just something that the peasants had to deal with. France itself was on the verge of bankruptcy from poor economic choices made by both King Louis XV and his grandson King Louis XVI. The construction of the Palace of Versailles was incredibly expensive, as well as the debt incurred from losing wars previously to Great Britain by King Louis XV. This vendetta against Great Britain led King Louis XVI to fund and back the Americans in the Revolutionary War against Great Britain. This pushes France further into debt, and coupled with the extravagant parties and spending of Marie Antoinette, the third estate is rightfully cross. The queen was being accused of spending huge sums of money on her clothes rather than prioritizing the well-being of her people. Marie Antoinette came to symbolize the excess of royals. All of these causes, combined with the influence of the American Revolution, which King Louis XVI ironically backed, creates one of the most influential and important revolutions in global history, the French Revolution. Okay besties, thanks for watching and see you all hopefully in my next video.